Hi, I'm Alistair McCaig and this is IG's morning market headlines on Tuesday the 23rd of April. Well, after almost no economic data yesterday, we've been met with a plethora today. So far this morning we've seen French, German and EU manufacturing PMI figures. These have all been worse than expected, and it really is a little bit disappointing, especially when you bear in mind at the tail end of 2012 we saw such strong consumer sentiment, certainly coming out of Germany from the ZEW figures, and they really haven't been backed up so far this year by much in way of economic data coming out of the EU. We've also seen UK net borrowing figures. They've come in at 16.7 billion, quite a bit worse than the anticipated 14.3 billion, and obviously a chunk higher than the last set of figures. Should be noted, of course, that this is a seasonality when it comes to these net borrowing figures, and at this time of year they do tend to increase. But certainly, as far as the likes of headline writers might be concerned, this will make easy pickings, and once again the debate over austerity versus stimulus will undoubtedly be brought to the forefront. And again at 11 o'clock this morning we're going to see CBI industrial order expectations. I guess that'll give a little bit more fuel to the fire for those looking to stimulate the economy. Later on this afternoon we also have US PMI manufacturing figures, quite a full day of manufacturing figures all round, along with new home sales figures. I'm going to turn my attention to ARM on the equity side, and when you look at ARM, I guess historically you've always got to look at Apple first, and we saw the Apple share price yesterday close at about $398 a share, well off that $700 a share high that we saw. ARM have come out with their first quarter figures this morning, and I guess they've managed to continue the divergence away from the sort of dependency with which the share price has been associated with the Apple share price. They find themselves in the lucky position of supplying most of the major mobile phone, smartphone manufacturers out there, both Apple and Samsung, the two largest by market share. They do have quite a few issues themselves coming on to play later on this year in July. Warren East, the CEO, will be stepping down and Simon Segars will be taking over. This is of course an internal promotion for Simon Segars, so it's hoped that this will be a pretty smooth transaction. But bearing in mind the first quarter figures came in with revenues of £170 million, better than the £160 million, it does look like it should be a smooth transaction. They've managed also to broaden their portfolio and move their dependence away from smartphones rather than just Apple smartphones in total. And it was really last year, the tail end of last year, in third quarter figures, where we saw that total sales, only 48% of total sales were actually accounted for by mobile phones. It'll be interesting to see how this pans out over the course of the day, but certainly the early trading in ARM shares looks pretty encouraging. For all of this and further analysis, please look at IG's website and specifically Insight Centre. Have a good day.